it's Dr. Christy Ennis. You've probably all heard that sitting is the new smoking. And here's a fun fact, I've actually never smoked a cigarette before. And for that matter, I really don't sit very often either. My mom's ringtone for me is actually a boing because I am just moving all the time. Now, with all that being said, I just want you to be aware that it's not actually sitting, it is not moving. So that means even standing in one position for any length of time, usually greater than 10 or 15 minutes, causes compression on the spine and causes things to get stuck together so they're no longer gliding. So there was a study done called a meta-analysis, meaning it takes a slew of studies and spits out the data and analyzes them, showing that for office workers that sit, to go to a standing position and stand all day instead of sitting, there was zero change in their back pain. So it's not, again, about how or what position you're in, even if it's lovely position, it's about that not moving. Another study showing that, here we go, this is probably an obvious one too, right? If you're shifting positions while you are sitting, you tend to have less pain. Duh, right? That's like big light bulb moment right there. And then another one even showing that people with chronic pain, not even back pain, but just chronic pain, had much better pain tolerance, right? So their threshold for pain increased with an exercise program. And it didn't even have to be this crazy specific exercise program. So today, I cannot claim to fame this idea. This is from my friend Bryant Parent. Thank you so much, Bryant. I love this idea that to move during the day, if you take, most people work an 8-hour day, if you take 2 minutes every hour to do some exercise, that equals, right, just a touch more than a 15-minute break. Conversely, you could do 1 minute every 30 minutes, which is almost more my preference for people. So today I'm going to show you 8 exercises that really target those muscles that get shut down and tightened up from sitting, standing, or being in any one position. All right, exercise number 1 is going to help stretch out these hip flexors that get tight from being in this position and even from standing. Stretch out the inner thigh or adductor muscles, that's the big term there. Activate some of those side butt and butt muscles, again, which tend to shut down after kind of that static, especially sitting position. So what you're gonna do, we'll start with just this left leg is gonna come back into a lunge. Arms are gonna come up to really stretch this left hip. You're gonna think about tucking that pelvis underneath as well. I'm just gonna turn this way. So now you're getting even more of a stretch here instead of stretching like this. From there, you'll step it back together, take the same leg out to the side as I'm sitting my butt back. I'm gonna reach my right hand towards my left foot and then rotate that left arm up. So now I'm getting a nice inner thigh stretch and I'm getting some rotation and opening into that spine and again, opening into those pec muscles as well. So you wanna shoot for about 3 to 5 repetitions on both sides. And just like that, without falling over, nice and slow and controlled. Exercise number 2 is going to work on breaking out of this position, which happens when we sit or stand and sometimes even lie. So feet just a little bit apart, a little soft bend in those knees. You're gonna bring those arms up. I usually clasp my thumbs together, really reach it up, right? We're elongating now. You're going to extend back just as far as is comfortable, again, to break out of that forward position. Use those abdominals to help pull you back. And then we're gonna take this arm and rotate it back as we open. So again, opening up through those pec muscles and adding that rotation in the spine. Nice breath here, back to the middle, and then opposite direction. Again, 3 to 5 on each side. Exercise number 3 is to help stretch out those inner thighs and bring those legs apart since we tend to either stand or sit narrow. And then also to work on the foot mobility, which tends to get, again, stuck in that one position. So we're gonna bring those legs nice and wide, turn those toes out. I'm gonna come right down into that plie. My butt is tucked under. I'm gonna lift one heel, lift the other heel, and this is the even trickier part. I'm gonna raise those toes up on one side, raise them up on the other side as best as I can. And now we're even activating in through those abdominal muscles, glutes a little bit as well. And you wanna try to alternate if you can, again, 3 to 5 repetitions. For our fourth exercise, you can use your fancy, or in my case, not fancy, office chair if you need to for balance. We're gonna work the side butt muscles and that shoulder because, again, right, a lot of times we're here, even if we're standing doing work. So these muscles are not working because we're not going side to side all that much. And these shoulders are really not working except to bring us forward. We don't want that anymore. So hanging on, you're gonna lean just a little. I'm bringing this right foot back just a touch. That gets my glute maximus even a little bit more. Arm is gonna come out to the side, and then we're flying away. You're gonna just go ahead and try to meet that arm and leg together. It's okay if they don't totally touch. You don't need to go above shoulder height unless that feels really comfortable for your body to move that way. Always a little bend in this standing knee. And for this one, we wanna try to shoot for 10 reps on each side. For our next exercise, we're really gonna work on using those quads a little bit and also these lovely shoulder blades so that we can break out of this and get back to this a little bit. So you're gonna need a wall or a sturdy door. Mine isn't the sturdiest, but it works well enough. You're gonna slide those feet out because we are going to eventually slide down a little. But now my back is against that wall. I'm gonna bring my arms like goalpost, give a gentle little squeeze into those shoulder blades, tucking my pelvis a little. And then I'm gonna reach up as high as I can, keeping my forearms towards that wall. Come back down, and then I'm gonna add that little slide down too. So now here's where I'm working those quads a little bit more and still opening that chest and using into those scapular or shoulder blade muscles. So it's slide up, whoopsies, I'm sliding away, and down. So for this one, another 5 reps or so to really work all of those muscles there. Keep that chair handy for this 6th exercise, where we're going to work on the rotators of the hip on one side, and then glute, quad, and a lot of balance on the other leg, which again, that balance gets lost a little bit sometimes after not getting that, what we call proprioception, knowing where your body is in space. If you're sitting or standing in one position for a while, you lose that a little bit. So I am gonna hang on to this chair. I'm gonna take this left leg and cross it above that right knee. If that's too much, you just start down lower, just like this, okay? From here, you're gonna take and you're gonna sit back into a bit of a squat. Your body is going to determine how much you sit back into that, right? If you wanna try for extra balance, you can do it without holding on, maybe. Just make sure that you're trying to make sure this knee doesn't go and collapse on in. So for this one, roughly 5 repetitions on each side. For our 7th exercise, we're gonna continue to engage those glute muscles and also continue to work on opening those hip rotator muscles, and again, in through those inner thighs. Grab onto that chair if you need it for balance. I'm gonna start with my right leg, and it's the right leg that's doing the work. This left leg is going to lift, but only because I'm hinging from this right leg. If you're old enough to remember the drinking bird, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So standing on just this right leg, I'm actually gonna shift my hip back. There's a little bend in that knee. So now I'm actually using that whole, what we call the posterior chain, the glutes, the calf muscles, and those hamstring muscles. Keeping a flat back, I'm gonna come up, and now I'm gonna open up into what we call a tree, right? That's a little yoga-like. So it's coming down, again, leg is lifting only because of this right leg, coming up and opening. And if it's too much there, again, just keep that leg a little lower. So I'll just show you with the other leg too. So it's down, hopefully I won't whack my leg on my chair, almost just like that. And you wanna shoot for, again, about 5 repetitions. Our last exercise, again, is gonna work these nice big leg muscles, but we're also gonna get some spinal mobility in there as well. We're getting that part standing. So a little balancy, a little mobility, and a little strength. So we're going to actually go from what we could just call a sit to stand position. With this exercise, to make it harder, you want to try not to use your hands. If you need to push down either on the chair, which is a little easier, or on your legs, which is still a little easier, you are able to do that, right? I want to make sure that you can do the exercise and do it comfortably. You know what I mean by comfortable. All right, so we're gonna stand on up. I'm gonna try to not use my hands, but squeeze into those glutes to help a little bit. Now that I'm all the way up, I'm going to shift my hips back a little so that my long monkey arms are coming just above my knees. And we're gonna do that little yoga move of a cat-cow. So lift that head, squeeze those shoulder blades, arch that spine, and then change it up and go the reverse direction. And then come all the way back up into a standing position. And if you need to look back for the chair, you certainly can. You're gonna sit right back down with control, no plopping there. So for this one, again, probably 3 to 5 repetitions. Thank you so much for tuning in today, you guys. If you want to get rid of pain anywhere in your body on your own with just one little portable device, don't forget to check out the Derma Edge. I created this while I was going through Lyme disease to help get rid of my pain on my own, nice and gently. It's patented and made in the US, actually right down the road in Laconia from where my office is. So don't forget, you can click the link here or in the description to order your own.